Okay, in this next video I'm just going to demonstrate how we can animate more than one character on the screen at the same time. So I've started off here with a simple animation, and we've got the Dalek there moving across the screen. Okay, so there he goes. Now if we want to add another piece of animation onto the screen, we've got to put it in a separate layer. Okay, so you'll see at the bottom here we've just got the one layer, that's the layer with the Dalek in. We can actually rename these layers if we want to, so if I just double click just to make it clear what that layer contains. And another useful tool is the ability to hide layers. Okay, so that's useful if you've got lots and lots of layers and you're trying to get a layer that's behind another one. And we also have the option here underneath this padlock of locking a layer. That means that you can't accidentally break that layer when you add in something else. Okay, so to add another animated character, there's a tiny little icon in the bottom left corner there, and if we click that, it creates a new layer. Okay, so I can now, with that layer active, import another picture. Let's go for a carrot, put it where I want to go. Okay, I can rename this layer as well, carrot, and then same as before, I just select it, right click, create motion tween, and I can now animate the carrot. You'll notice that when you add a second layer, it doesn't always move the cursor to the last frame that it's created. You'll see there we're still in frame 1. So to move the carrot, we want it to move as it goes across the frames. So if we click the last frame and then drag it there. So if we do a Control Enter now, we've got our two symbols moving across the screen. And don't forget as well that you can also change the path that the things take as you're doing it. Okay, and so that's what you do if you want to add multiple layers, have multiple things moving across the screen. Okay, what we can also do as well is we can have animated text. So I'll just add another layer and show you how we can put text onto the screen. I'll lock the carrot layer as well so I don't accidentally break it, and then if I select this big T in the toolbox, okay, so if I select that, I can now click on the screen. Okay, if I go into the properties, I can select the font style, I can select the size. Okay, so I can enter a size in here. Let's go for 24. I can change the colour, the type, and so on. Okay, and then in here I can type any text I want. Alright, now just like with any other symbol, if I go back to the solid selection tool, I can right click, create a motion tween, and I can actually animate the text as well. Okay, I've also got the option, remember, as we did in some of the previous videos, to actually use the free transform tool to resize text, make it spin, and so on. So we could maybe add a little bit of spin to that. So if we have it so it's pointing that way, and then when we get to the bottom we'll put it back as it should do, and then hopefully this will all come to life when we do Control Enter. Okay, and don't forget of course that you can actually stretch out the time here. So if you want the animation to last longer, or you want to slow it down, take longer to move across, we'll just add more frames into the movie. So Control Enter now. Okay. Layers are also useful for adding a background as well. So we can add a background image on here. So if I do a new layer, and we'll set this as the background. And then into this layer, if I do File, Import again, Import to Stage, and look for a suitable background picture. That one I do. There we are. Okay. You'll notice my Daleks disappeared. Okay, and the reason for that is because the Dalek layer here is at the bottom, so it's underneath the background layer. So that's not a problem, because all we need to do is just grab hold of it, move the Dalek on top, and there we are. So now we've got the Dalek and Carrot invasion of Wyke. Okay. With many animations as well, there's also the option for sound, because most animations have sound, so we'll demonstrate this one as well. You can add sound to any layer you like, any symbol, any object, but I always like to add a new separate layer for anything that I add. So I'm just going to add a sound layer here. Then I'm going to go File, Import, Import to Library this time, and if I go back up here into our resources, we've got some sound effects here, and you can include any MP3 file, and as luck would have it, I've got an exterminate sound for the Dalek. So if I select that, you'll see in the library I've now got an exterminate MP3 file. Okay, so what I can do now is select that sound layer, go to the properties, and you'll see here there's a sound property, and in there is the file I've just put in. Alright, so when I actually play this sound now, or play the recording, we should get the exterminate.
Exterminate! 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 Exterminate!
Okay, so that's how you can add multiple animations onto one scene, and how you can add sound. Another useful thing that we should cover really is, there's our first scene with the Dalek invasion. If we're creating a long animation, we might want to have additional scenes, we might want to have internal, external scenes, or somewhere where you just want to start off with a complete new scene. So you can do that just by going Insert, Scene. That gives you a whole blank new stage here, so we can start all over again. We can create animations and so on. And the way that Flash works, it will automatically move from scene to scene as you go along. So just to demonstrate that, if I just import a picture in here to the stage, what shall we go with next? Okay, if we just go in here and pick another image, let's go for our little kangaroo. Alright, there's our kangaroo. I'll just animate him a little bit to make him move. There he is. Okay, so when I play this now, if I go back to scene 1, alright, this should
Exterminate!
go right through. There we go.
Exterminate!
Scene 2,
Exterminate!
and unless we put in some code to stop it, Flash will just keep repeating over and over again. Okay, So lots of things covered there. Multiple animations, multiple layers, how you can animate pictures and text, how we can add sound, and also how we can create a new scene.